Congressman John Moolenaar is the chairman of the House Select China Committee. Republican from the state of Michigan joins us live here on the Hill. Congressman, thanks for being with us tonight. Appreciate the time. Sir, explain to me what exactly you're trying to do and what does it mean?
Well, our plan is to revoke the permanent normal trade relationship status of China. Since China entered this agreement with the United States and the world, they've cheated on every aspect. They've stolen intellectual property. They've committed all sorts of violations, dumping, overcapacity, and they simply are not a favored trading partner, and we shouldn't give them that privileged position. We're also recommending tariffs, especially on some of the sensitive technologies and sectors, and we need to make this trading relationship fair. And I believe President Trump is stepping up and doing that.
So you know how Donald Trump works. You remember the first quote-unquote trade war back in 2018, 2019, 2020. Everything is a negotiation with Donald Trump, or at least at the beginning. Do you know if he embraces your idea? Because if so, that would be a pretty big step forward to start off a negotiation.
Well, I can tell you that conceptually, he wants to be tough with China and make sure this relationship is put in the right direction. We need a reset. And he's talked about tariffs as an important, vital component of that. Strategic technologies, we need to make sure we protect. So I'm not here to say he's endorsing it, but it certainly is in line with his thinking. And I look forward to working with him and his administration to implement this.
Speaking of tariffs, here was the then candidate Trump on Joe Rogan's podcast in the final days of the campaign. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
I came up with this idea that honestly nobody ever heard of. And now it took her 2 months, but you know what? All of a sudden,
it caught fire,
and she just put it into a little speech.
Yeah.
That was the wrong soundbite, Congressman. What I was trying to play for you there was the question from Joe Rogan when he asked about the idea of getting rid of taxes for tariffs completely, sort of like a one-to-one swap. Do you think Trump is serious about that? Do you believe that his Treasury Secretary is going to fall in line with him on his views on tariffs?
I believe his Treasury Secretary will implement the Trump policy, and I believe the Trump policy is going to be to have a strong negotiating position with respect to China.
But I wonder if his policy on tariffs. I wonder if his policy on tariffs is why he's having a little bit of trouble trying to find a Treasury Secretary.
I don't believe that. I think he's just trying to select the right person for the job, and there are a number of qualified candidates, and he's going to pick the best one that fits his agenda and can implement it working with Congress.
We had one of the United States' top trade negotiators in the first go-around, Cleet Willems, here on the show a couple weeks ago, and I asked him what essentially Donald Trump and his team learned from China in the first go-around. Here's what Cleet told me, and I want to get your reaction on the other side.
They learned that he's serious.
Okay.
Right? They learned that when he makes these kinds of threats about broad-scale tariff action, he may just well pull that trigger. And so I think China has to take him seriously again and is going to have to engage.
We're also seeing stories, Congressman, about Nerf guns, possibly, and Hasbro maybe reducing its footprint in China. Steve Madden has already reduced its footprint in China. Is that what you think we're going to see here as companies start to look across, see the landscape, see what Donald Trump and his team are talking about?
My hope is that we'd have more supply chains, more manufacturing, more job creation here in the United States, lessen our dependence on the Chinese Communist Party. And I think that's what his policies will encourage.
All right, we'll leave it there. Congressman John Moolenaar, he is the top Republican on the China Select Committee in the House, live with us here on the Hill. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.